Hello everyone and welcome back to the Health Channel. Before we jump into the details, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support us. Every like and subscription motivates us to create more helpful videos like this, sharing knowledge on health to help you live a better life. Did you know that the vitamins and supplements you're taking every day could be putting your health at risk, especially if you're over 60? That's right. Many people don't realize that incorrect vitamin supplementation could lead to serious health issues, like an increased risk of stroke. Sounds unbelievable, right? But today's video will reveal risks you've probably never heard about. Some vitamins, even those that are marketed as good for your heart or brain, can be harmful to your body if not taken properly. Stroke and vitamin overload. Certain vitamins, when taken in excess, can alter blood chemistry within hours, potentially thickening the blood or weakening the blood vessels. This can increase the likelihood of ischemic strokes, where a clot blocks blood flow to the brain, or hemorrhagic strokes, which happen when a blood vessel bursts and causes bleeding in the brain. These risks are particularly concerning for seniors, whose blood vessels are naturally more fragile with age. What makes this even more dangerous is that many seniors take supplements without fully understanding how they interact with other medications. For example, blood thinners or blood pressure medications already affect circulation, and adding certain vitamins can worsen these effects, increasing the risk of bleeding or clotting. The warning signs of vitamin overload, such as dizziness, fatigue, and blurry vision, can often be mistaken for normal signs of aging, making it hard to catch the problem before it escalates. To stay safe, it's crucial for seniors to be mindful of the vitamins they're taking. Regularly reviewing supplements with a healthcare provider, checking labels for excessive doses, and prioritizing nutrients from natural food sources are key steps in reducing stroke risk. By being more cautious about the supplements we use, we can lower unnecessary health risks and continue to lead active, healthy lives as we age. Some vitamins increase stroke risk. Synthetic vitamin E, alpha-tocopherol. Vitamin E is widely promoted as a nutrient that supports heart and brain health, especially for older adults. It's often included in multivitamins and supplements that claim to improve circulation and prevent cognitive decline. However, the synthetic form of vitamin E, known as alpha-tocopherol, can actually increase the risk of hemorrhagic stroke, particularly in seniors who take blood thinners or medications for heart health. For example, I used to take a multivitamin with vitamin E, thinking it was helping support my heart and brain. But over time, I noticed I was bruising easily, even from small bumps. At first, I didn't think much of it, but after some thought and a conversation with my doctor, I realized that the synthetic vitamin E in my supplement was likely thinning my blood. This was a wake-up call, especially since I also take medication for blood circulation. Synthetic vitamin E can cause blood to become thinner, making it even more dangerous if you're already on blood thinners like aspirin or warfarin. What makes synthetic alpha-tocopherol especially risky is that it behaves differently from the natural form, D-alpha-tocopherol. The synthetic version doesn't provide the same benefits and can even interfere with the absorption of other beneficial compounds, like gamma-tocopherol, which protect the heart and brain. Instead of balancing blood flow, synthetic vitamin E can upset this balance and increase the risk of clotting and bleeding, particularly in the brain. Switching to natural vitamin E, which you can get from foods like sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, and avocados, is a safer option. These foods contain a variety of vitamin E compounds that work together to protect your blood vessels, without the risk of thinning your blood. If you're on blood thinners or other medications, it's always a good idea to check with your doctor before continuing any supplements. As we age, we're more vulnerable to the effects of both supplements and medications. That's why it's important to reassess your vitamin routine regularly to ensure you're taking what your body actually needs, in the right form and amount. Many seniors are encouraged to take vitamins for heart and brain health, but if not properly managed, they can raise the risk of stroke, especially if you're taking the wrong form or dose. So, let me ask you, are you sure that the vitamins you're taking are actually benefiting your health? Or could they be causing harm? If you're unsure, it might be time to have a conversation with your doctor about the vitamin E supplements you're using. It's never too late to make smarter choices and ensure that what you're putting into your body is truly supporting your long-term health. Vitamin A, retinyl palmitate. High doses of synthetic vitamin A, especially in its performed form like retinyl palmitate, can have serious consequences, including constriction of blood vessels in the brain. This narrowing of blood vessels can significantly increase the risk of ischemic strokes, where a blockage restricts blood flow to the brain. The consequences can be severe, especially for older adults, whose blood vessels are already more fragile and prone to damage. I remember taking a supplement with retinyl palmitate because I was told it would support my vision and help my skin. After a few months, I started to feel more sluggish and noticed frequent headaches, particularly when standing up quickly. At first, I thought it was just a part of getting older, but when I spoke to my doctor, I found out that retinyl palmitate might have been causing constriction in my blood vessels, which in turn elevated my brain pressure. The issue is that retinyl palmitate, the synthetic form of vitamin A, doesn't get processed the same way as beta-carotene, which is the safer, natural precursor to vitamin A. The body naturally regulates the amount of beta-carotene it absorbs, converting only as much as needed. On the other hand, synthetic vitamin A can build up in the liver and bloodstream, which may lead to toxicity and create a risk for vascular constriction, particularly in the brain, increasing the chances of a stroke. After switching to getting vitamin A from whole foods like carrots, sweet potatoes, and spinach, I felt much better. These foods provide beta-carotene, a much safer form of vitamin A that the body converts as needed, eliminating the risk of excess buildup. Beta-carotene is not only safer, but also more efficient in supporting eye health and skin vitality. Without the adverse effects of synthetic vitamin A, make sure to read the labels of your supplements carefully and avoid excessive doses of retinyl palmitate. Focus on getting your vitamin A from whole foods with beta-carotene, natural sources like carrots, sweet potatoes, and spinach. These foods provide the vitamin A your body needs, without the risk of the dangerous side effects that come from synthetic forms. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing excess nutrients, so it's crucial to be cautious with synthetic supplements. Even if a supplement is marketed as helpful, it's essential to understand how it interacts with your body and what effects it may have. Have you recently reviewed the vitamin A you're taking? It might be time to talk to your doctor and consider switching to natural food sources for your vitamin A needs. Ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba is widely marketed as a natural brain booster, with claims that it can improve memory, sharpen focus, and even help protect against cognitive decline. Many seniors turn to this herb in hopes of enhancing their brain function and slowing down age-related cognitive issues. However, High doses or poorly regulated synthetic ginkgo biloba can actually increase the risk of intracerebral bleeding, bleeding in the brain, and stroke, especially for seniors already taking blood thinners. I remember when I first heard about the benefits of ginkgo biloba. I was in my 70s and started noticing small memory lapses, so I decided to give it a try. I took it daily, hoping it would help me stay sharp. After a few months, though, I began feeling lightheaded and started having frequent headaches. At first, I thought it was just part of getting older. But when I spoke to my doctor, I found out that the ginkgo was likely thinning my blood too much, increasing my risk of a brain bleed, something I hadn't considered. The issue with ginkgo biloba, especially in high doses or synthetic forms, is that it naturally thins the blood. When combined with medications like aspirin, warfarin, or other blood thinners, it can significantly raise the risk of bleeding, particularly in the brain. For seniors whose blood vessels are already more fragile, this combination can lead to hemorrhagic stroke, a type of stroke that's caused by the rupture of a blood vessel in the brain. In my case, I was already taking aspirin for heart health, and adding ginkgo to the mix thinned my blood too much. It wasn't until I started experiencing those constant headaches that I realized something was off. I had to stop taking the ginkgo and speak to my doctor about safer alternatives. It's crucial to be cautious when considering supplements like ginkgo biloba. If you're on blood thinners or medications for heart health, always talk to your doctor before adding any new supplements to your daily routine. And if you experience symptoms like dizziness, persistent headaches, or confusion, don't ignore them. Make sure to get checked out by a healthcare provider. Instead of relying on high-dose ginkgo, which can come with unpredictable risks, consider natural ways to boost brain health. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and B vitamins have been shown to support cognitive function without the potential risks of thinning your blood. If you've been taking ginkgo for a while, it might be time to revisit your supplement routine. Speak with your doctor to ensure your supplements are actually benefiting you and not putting you at risk. Vitamin B6, pyridoxine. Vitamin B6 is often taken to support nerve health, metabolism, and red blood cell production. However, excessive intake of vitamin B6, especially over long periods, can lead to neurotoxicity, nerve damage, and even increase the risk of stroke. Seniors should make sure they don't exceed the safe daily limit of 100 mg of vitamin B6. A few years ago, I started taking high-dose vitamin B6 supplements to help with fatigue and memory issues. Over time, I began noticing numbness in my hands and feet, which I initially dismissed. Eventually, I saw my doctor, who tested my vitamin B6 levels and found them to be too high. I realized that the excess B6 had been damaging my nerves and causing the symptoms I was experiencing. It was a real eye-opener. What I thought was a harmless supplement was actually causing harm. When you take too much vitamin B6, it can damage your nerves and increase levels of homocysteine, an amino acid associated with arterial inflammation and an increased risk of stroke. I found out that between my multivitamin, energy drinks, and other supplements, I was easily consuming over 200 mg per day, more than double the safe limit. After cutting back on the supplements and focusing on whole food sources like chickpeas, bananas, and potatoes, my symptoms gradually improved. Excessive vitamin B6 can cause silent damage over time, with symptoms only becoming noticeable after nerve damage has occurred. It's important for seniors to keep track of their B6 intake and ensure they're not taking more than necessary. If you're unsure, It's a good idea to talk to your doctor to check your vitamin B6 levels and adjust your supplements accordingly. Synthetic vitamin E, alpha-tocopherol. Synthetic vitamin E, often labeled as D-alpha-tocopherol acetate, can interfere with the body's ability to absorb the more beneficial forms of vitamin E and can also thin the blood, increasing the risk of hemorrhagic strokes. While vitamin E is often recommended for heart and skin health, the synthetic version can have serious side effects, especially for seniors. I had been taking a multivitamin with synthetic vitamin E for years, thinking it was helping with my heart health. But over time, I started noticing frequent bruising and nosebleeds that wouldn't stop easily. After speaking with my doctor, I learned that synthetic vitamin E was thinning my blood, making me more vulnerable to these issues. My doctor explained that synthetic vitamin E can displace more beneficial forms, like gamma-tocopherol, which help protect blood vessels and reduce inflammation. The problem with synthetic vitamin E is that it doesn't work as effectively as the natural version, which you can find in foods like sunflower seeds, spinach, and avocados. These foods offer better protection for blood vessels, helping to reduce clotting and the risk of bleeding. After switching to natural vitamin E from food sources, my bruising and nosebleeds stopped, and I felt much better. Synthetic vitamin E can affect your health more subtly over time. If you're taking a supplement with synthetic vitamin E, it might be worth reevaluating, especially if you're on medications that affect blood clotting. It's always a good idea to talk to your doctor about the supplements you're taking to make sure they're safe and effective for your health. Vitamin B12, cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin, a synthetic form of vitamin B12, is commonly used to treat B12 deficiencies, particularly in seniors. However, excessive doses or frequent injections of cyanocobalamin can raise the risk of stroke by thickening the blood and releasing cyanide in the body, which stresses blood vessels and compromises circulation to the brain. I've been getting B12 injections regularly, hoping to boost my energy and improve my health. After several months, I started feeling more dizzy and confused after each injection. When I spoke to my doctor, they tested my B12 levels and found that I was getting too much cyanocobalamin. The injections were releasing small amounts of cyanide, which, over time, can thicken the blood and increase stroke risk by causing blood clots. After switching to methylcobalamin, a safer form of B12, my symptoms improved, and I felt much better. What happens with cyanocobalamin is that when the body metabolizes it, it releases a small amount of cyanide. In healthy individuals, this is detoxified, but in seniors, especially those with weakened liver or kidney function, the cyanide can build up and affect circulation, increasing stroke risk. Excessive cyanocobalamin can have serious effects, especially in older adults. If you've been using this form of B12, consider consulting your doctor about switching to methylcobalamin or adjusting your dosage to ensure you're supporting your health safely. Symptoms of stroke risk. The early signs of a stroke can often be subtle and mistaken for other common health issues, especially in older adults. Symptoms like dizziness, blurry vision, confusion, fatigue, or even unexplained bruising may seem like normal signs of aging or minor discomfort. However, these could actually be warning signs of vitamin overload and compromised blood circulation to the brain. A few months ago, I started experiencing dizziness every time I stood up, which I thought was just part of getting older. I also felt more fatigued than usual and had trouble concentrating or remembering things. Then one day, I noticed some bruising on my arms, and I hadn't bumped into anything. I didn't think much of it at first, but then I started noticing these symptoms more frequently. I finally decided to visit my doctor, and after a full checkup, I learned that the combination of supplements I was taking, particularly high doses of vitamin E and B6, was affecting my circulation, putting me at increased risk for a stroke. Many vitamins, when taken in excessive amounts, can cause blood thinning, which weakens blood vessels and compromises circulation to the brain. Vitamins like synthetic vitamin E or high-dose vitamin B6 can disrupt blood flow, making your blood vessels more vulnerable to clots or even rupture. When blood flow to the brain is compromised, the risk of a stroke increases significantly. It's crucial to pay attention to your body and recognize when something feels off. For me, those early warning signs, like dizziness and bruising, were the first clues that my supplement routine might be harming me. If you're noticing any similar symptoms, it might be time to review your vitamin regimen with your doctor to ensure your circulation isn't being compromised by excess supplementation. Are you taking any vitamins that could be affecting your circulation? It's always better to consult with your healthcare provider to make sure your supplements are supporting your health, not putting it at risk. Advice for seniors. As we get older, it's important to be mindful of the supplements we take. Seniors should always check their supplement labels to make sure they aren't taking synthetic forms of vitamins like vitamin E or vitamin B12, as these can interact with medications and increase stroke risk. I learned this lesson firsthand. I had been using a multivitamin with synthetic vitamin E for years, but began experiencing bruising and dizziness. After talking to my doctor, I found out that synthetic vitamin E was thinning my blood and raising my stroke risk. It's much better to prioritize vitamins from whole foods rather than synthetic versions. The body absorbs nutrients from food more effectively. For example, vitamin E from sunflower seeds, avocados, or spinach is safer and more beneficial than synthetic pills. Once I switched to getting my vitamins from food, I felt a noticeable improvement in my health. If you're taking high doses of supplements like B6 or B12, it's important to check your homocysteine levels with your doctor. High homocysteine levels are linked to increased risks of stroke and heart disease, and too many vitamins can raise these levels. I had been taking B6 and B12 supplements for years, but after testing, I discovered they were raising my homocysteine levels. My doctor recommended cutting back on the supplements and getting B6 and B12 from food sources, which made a significant difference in my energy and overall well-being. By focusing on whole foods and discussing your supplement routine with your doctor, you can ensure that you're making the safest, most effective choices for your health. The importance of safe supplementation. Just because a vitamin or supplement is widely marketed does mean it's always safe, especially for seniors. The risk lies in the wrong form, incorrect dose, or combination of supplements. Many seniors take supplements to support their health, but choosing the wrong form or taking excessive doses can have unintended side effects. For example, I used to take high-dose vitamin E, thinking it would support my heart health. After a few months, I began to feel lightheaded and noticed bruising on my arms. It turns out that synthetic vitamin E can thin the blood and increase the risk of bleeding, something I hadn't considered before. Combining certain supplements can also cause issues. I was taking high doses of vitamin B6 along with B12, believing it would boost my energy. However, I later found out that this combination could raise homocysteine levels, which is linked to increased stroke risk. My doctor helped me adjust my supplements and monitor my homocysteine levels, which brought my health back on track. It's crucial for seniors to stay informed about their supplement choices, especially when taking multiple vitamins or medications. Excessive doses can build up in the body and cause harm. For instance, taking calcium supplements in high doses can affect heart health. I've switched to getting more calcium from whole foods like leafy greens and almonds, which has been much safer for me. Safe supplementation is about balance. By staying cautious and informed, you can make healthier choices and avoid unnecessary risks. If you're unsure about any supplements, consult with your doctor to ensure you're not putting your health at risk. And there you have it. I hope today's video has helped you become more aware of the potential risks that come with taking supplements, especially if you're over 60. Being informed is the first step in making sure you stay healthy and safe, so always check your supplement labels, consult with your healthcare provider, and make sure you're taking what's best for your body. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more valuable content to you. What supplements are you taking right now? Are you rethinking any of them after watching this video? We'd love to hear from you and answer any questions you may have. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay healthy and safe.